And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies.
Yeah, break free, break free, break free. You know what? Who's lying to me? I don't know if it's derived from tax money. They're probably lying. You know, their lips moving. You know, I wanted to make sure that people knew where to go on this. We're going to be holding up, doing a lot of the site pictures and such that Sierra has got up here of you're embarrassing going to the bathroom stuff or whatever. And what I want to do is make sure that you tell people where they can go to get this information.
All right. It's appropedia.org, and that's appropedia.org.
Appropedia.org. And literally, you do have, we be going to the bathroom over here in our little composting kind of, whatever thing. I don't know how graphic you get, but, these are the kind of things that you got to show. You self-sustainability out here means off the grid, or at least being, self-sustaining. So we looked at it's called Dome Calculator, is where we got the information how to build these domes and what the measurements are. And you put in, it's very simple. You go, you know what? I want it to be at least 8 feet high in the middle of it, so I have some headroom as I get towards the edge, and it makes in a radius of kind of doing, plug it in. And it goes, all right, you need, X amount of A, X amount of B, X amount of C rods that you need this length, cut, drill hole, put together, done. It's that simple. Now, Sierra's put that up on today's archive. You go there, and you just do it. I mean, we're gonna do a video of me doing it because I already built one just to test. We did it I'll tell you when we did it. It was when we had the Ron Paul Lovolution first workshop. And because we had the space there, I said, I want to do this before we leave because, like Mom didn't want me doing it in the living room. So I go, all right. Well, and it was very simple. We had all the tools down there. I just cut them, zit, 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 drilled the holes, put together. I go, man, that is freaking cool. So that is going to be another, chicken coop, something, whatever I plan on, greenhouse, whatever I want it to be. Now, what you guys did is you took this, and it's something that you can assemble and disassemble. And I'll tell you the one thing that I found, it wasn't the actual rods that were the expensive part. It was the nuts and bolts.
Absolutely.
What the heck is up with that, man? Taiwan can't make them cheaper? I mean, what? Why is the hardware really, you couldn't get it cheaper anywhere? I couldn't.
Yeah, we ended up doing some of our hardware reused. We got it from the set. We were in New York. That dome that you showed was actually floating through New York. We went through all 5 boroughs.
What do you mean floating?
We built a barge that had chicken, solar power, rainwater catchment, composting toilets, gray water treatment, bicycle power for the computers, wind power. We had foot pumps. We had hydroponics. We had aeroponics, vertical gardens, all on a barge floating through all 5 boroughs in New York.
Okay, wait. We need to talk about this some more. All right. I want to know how many government agencies you had to go to be allowed to float anything.
that was an incredible nightmare that I didn't have to deal with. I did just the technical systems and the community engagement. Luckily, there was other people working on the permits. I could never have gone through that process. It's probably why I do a lot of work in other countries.
That is a perfect example of exactly why we have these kind of problems. You're not even allowed to do anything without permission. And then if they don't understand it, they just simply say no.
Absolutely.
This is, you want to know what the problem is? It's called gibment, okay? So that's another thing. Let's go ahead and I want to focus on this because I think that's very interesting. You created a barge by permission. You made this out of what? It was just a regular barge, or you floated 2-liter bottles, or what?
No, there is a project like that called Plastiki, but ours was just a normal barge, and then we built up all the infrastructure on top of it, and we did that all with stuff out of the waste stream, mostly from plays and movies and sets like that. But we also had waste stream from just normal trash.
Okay, so you had to have several things. One, you needed some kind of shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep the rain, sun, wind, whatever.
We actually had 5 people living on there trying to get their food, energy, and water from the barge itself.
Okay, now how did you? That was the geodesic dome. Was that your preferred structure? How did you get out of the rain?
The geodesic dome was for the speakers that would come on. Different people come and speak, and they had concerts on there.
How big a barge are we talking about here?
It was a fair size. It was
a regular barge, so it's like could put 8 or 9 sea containers on it or something.
Not quite that big. You could probably do about 6 or 7. So it was a little tight. But it was 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember the exact dimensions. I'd say it was about maybe about 7 meters by 15 meters.
So it's like a double wide or something.
Yeah, like 2 double wides and then a spot to park your truck.
All right, cool. So we're talking some, we got some square footage here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there's 5 people they weren't sleeping on top of each other. Okay. Well, I mean, not they had to. Okay, so what we have is you have some kind of shelter. You have the geodesic to hang whatever you needed to do in the speaking kind of presentation, whatever.
Right.
You're growing actual vegetables. Did you have any livestock?
We had chickens.
Okay, so you got chickens.
Which, by the way,
very good.
Chickens are great, but if I did this again, I think I'd raise the chickens on a barge that's moving because I think the chickens never got used to the fact that the ground kept moving. It took them a few days before they'd even think about producing eggs.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got we get chickens with raised with sea legs. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We put them on the barge. They produce. I don't know if you butchered any of them or not, but at least you get eggs. Then you have vegetables. Now, how did you do hydroponics? Did you have just soil? Did you get aquaponics? Did you have fish? What did you do?
We didn't have aquaponics, which we wanted, and I'd love to do it.
Gardenpool.org, man. I'm telling you, those guys rock.
Yeah. But we did have vertical gardens. We had soil gardens. We had a few different types of hydroponic systems. Mostly, we were trying out systems that would work in the city. Also, we had a lot of people visiting us, so there was a lot of chocolate and wine on that barge that we definitely didn't grow.
I'm hip. Okay. Now, how did you promote it? When you went to a different borough, you was like flyers on the radio, here we come, word of mouth, what?
New York has this amazing system of promotion. It's,
light poles?
It's incredible. Like the word just gets spread. There are thousands and thousands of people visited the barge. It was on every major network. And then fast forward to, let's say 3 weeks ago, I just got back from Dominican Republic. We built an amazing project there, and there's no media coverage at all. That project is a project that will continue to exist in that community, that's helping the community. They're in the middle of kind of a fight with the government because they're the only poor community in this part of the city, and they're holding on. They also borrow all of their electricity, and so becoming off the grid or connected to the grid would really behoove them. They pay a lot for their clean water. Clean water costs a lot. You have to buy it in 5-gallon drums. So there, we built a schoolroom out of plastic bottles and conventional concrete construction, and it's lit with solar power and homemade wind power from bike parts, and it catches its own water for drinking and cleaning.
So you have a poor community, they just as soon go away, and you're making them self-sustainability. Government hates you.
Oh, they don't, yeah.
Okay, I see where this is going. All right. So what we want to do is go ahead and we'll continue this conversation. It's coming up against a break, but I want to finish up on the barge, though, is that you have, you're talking about your composting and of your waste, solid human waste and so on. Tell me how you dealt with that.
It all had to be kept on the barge. So for everything from the showers and the kitchens, that was put through a gray water system, the first of its type built on a barge using natural plants. That was built by an amazing wastewater engineer named Tressie Word. And then for the human waste, the fecal material, that was all done in a dry compost.
Now, we've had some of the people here come in, they're talking about doing dry composting.
Right.
And I'm going, yeah, okay, whatever. There's also, we just had something on Freedom's Phoenix yesterday about this small homes they're making, kind of like a trailer, but they're little cabins that are mobile kind of deal. And they went so you don't have to hook up to incinerating toilets. Okay. But they're a couple $1,000.
Right, yeah.
But you don't have to have them hooked up. It's just a couple $1,000. So this is the kind of stuff that's going. It's not like we're going to do it. They want to do it. Wouldn't it be nice if we do it? They're all over the world doing it. Oh, we might have to include some more goodies in our magazine. I think that we will. And Sierra is going to be putting it up right now on the site. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock.